My name is Ravina Elizabeth. This is Blind But Not Broken. That is the name of my show. And today, we're going to put together this canned goods storage organizer. It's made by Simple Trending. I bought it off of Amazon. And it is a storage rack for putting canned goods in some semblance of order. So it has to be put together. It's in this box. For the ones that do not know me, please take the time to watch the introduction video so you'll know exactly who I am and why I feel the need to record such a thing as this. I'm just taking it out of the box, putting the box to the side. It's quite a few pieces here. We're gonna have to identify them. Since I am totally blind, we won't be using the instructions. We will be figuring this out by good old logic and deduction. So we're gonna get started. On the top, first piece I got in my hand appears to be a rack for one of the shelves. I'm trying to hold these so you might be able to see them. Forgive me, I'm new at this. Trying to make sure you see what I'm doing. This appears to be a second rack. It's supposed to be 4 of these. So we're gonna look and we're gonna separate our pieces as we go. Now, I don't know what this is. These are some pieces that I guess I will understand better by and by, okay? Because I have no idea. This looks like a bag of screws of some kind. I hear the metallic sound, so I'm gonna guess those are screws. So we're gonna, according to the directions, I didn't need anything but the Allen wrench that's supposed to be in, I guess, in the bag with those screws. But I got a pair of scissors and a multi-tip screwdriver on this couch to the left of me in case I need them. So this right here is, I'm going to say, the side of the storage rack. I see some holes running down each side of the bar on the front side and on the back side. And then it has some, what I'm gonna call pickets that travel horizontally, connecting the front bar to the back bar. So yeah, I'm gonna save right now, just because I'm guessing that these are the sides. Now, if this is a side, there better be another side. It gotta be, okay, yeah, and here goes another thing that looks just like it. So I'm assuming these are the sidebars to the organizer. We're gonna set those to the side. Wow, that sounds pretty sturdy. And we got some paper here. I'm going to assume that these are the instructions. We're gonna just fling them over to the side because, like I said, I am totally blind, so those instructions are not gonna help me with this endeavor. Okay, and here it looks like we have another rack, and I'm putting these all over to the left of me, and this is the last piece in the box, and this appears to be another rack. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to examine these racks to find out which way is up and to determine if there's a front side versus a back side. And there is a end cap, I guess, or protective barrier on what I'm gonna say is the front and the back side of the rack, or the shelf, if you will. And it looks like they're not exactly the same. So this, I'm going to say, I'm holding this in the front of my face. So with the idea that if I hold it where my face is, the camera will catch it so you can see it. Okay, so this is what I'm assuming is the front side. And I'm going to turn this to the side so you can see that this bar, the front protective barrier, sticks out a little further on this side than it does on the back side. And so I'm going to put all of these bars in the front facing one direction. So I'm going to take the time right now to arrange these bars so that as I grab them, they're all going in the right direction. I am totally blind. Like I said before, I've been totally blind for over 30 years. I live alone. I'm the single parent of one young adult. She has recently entered in to college. We have lived alone for her entire life. So it's not strange that I have to do stuff like this, because as a parent, we all know that holidays come with summer assembly required on almost every toy box that you can get out of the store. And while I talk, I'm going to take the scissors and cut. Well, I don't need the scissors. Okay, I'm going to open up this bag of screws, and I'm going to dump them in the lap of my dress so that I have them all in one place and they're not all over the place and I don't lose them and you hear them hit the hardwood and go scattering everywhere, because that is going to be bad. I have found the Allen wrench, pretty small tool that is provided with almost every product that you buy today that requires any assembly. Specialty screws have an Allen wrench associated with them so that you can know what you got. So I'm looking at these screws and there's a lot of them. And then there's a part. So I'm separating the stuff that I just dumped out of that bag into my lap. I see the screws that they're very obvious. And then there's a piece that I'm not sure what it is. I'm going to show it to you in a moment. But let me just divide all this stuff so that we can know what we got, okay? So it appears that all the screws are the same. Now, this piece that I said I don't know what it is, it looks like this. Now, I'm not sure if this is some kind of washer that's needed for the shelves. I'm going to say no, because it's only 4 of them. So this piece, it doesn't have any decorations on it or anything like that. So I guess as I begin to assemble this organizer, that piece will become more clear to me, because right now I have no idea what that is for. We got a bunch of screws, and let's see. 1, 2, I'm counting them back into the lap of my dress so that I don't lose them. It will be a bad idea for me to drop one, because then I'll have to get on the floor and find the screw. And that's like looking for a needle in a haystack. And I don't want to do that, okay? I'm up to 10 screws right now. 12, 14. It looks like I have about 17 screws. So, being that there are 4 racks, I'm going to say that there's 4 screws for every rack. That's just some simple math calculations that I'm going to make. That deduction that I'm going to have to put 4 screws in each one of these racks. Now, this is what I said earlier. And I'm still sticking to this. I believe these are the sidebars, because this looks pretty straightforward. And these are going to become the sides of the organizer, okay? So we got screw holes on this side, and then we have screw holes on that side. Now the question is, and this is the starting question is, which side is in and which side is out? Now, the bars are attached, these pickets are attached to this side. So I'm going to assume that this is the outside of the wall, of the outside of the rack, or the storage wall, okay? So I'm going to turn this around, and what I'm going to do first is see if this makes sense when I put when I place the rack against the wall. Okay, for the lack of a better explanation, I'm just going to see if this lines up before I start messing with the screws or anything like that. I just want to see if what I'm thinking, because, okay, let me show you this. Let me set this down so I don't hit myself in the face. That's going to be bad. See these little nodules on the outside? These have to align with what I'm assuming is the side wall of the storage organizer, the rack organizer, and they have to seat well together. So I got to figure out which side will allow and I think I got it right, will allow these things to seat together. Okay, and so it looks like they will seat the best facing this. No, hold on, y'all. Gotta do this right, because I'm noticing that these shelves are going to slide down. So that outside lip has to be facing the outside edge, because the shelves are not going to attach straight. They're not going to sit straight. They're going to sit as an angle. So I guess as you remove one canned good, the one behind it will slide forward. That's what it looks like. They're going to attach on an angle, because these holes are not exactly perfectly aligned from the front to the back. So I'm going to guess that they are going to be where when you attach them, it's going to create like a sliding board effect for the canned goods on the storage rack. So what I'm going to do first is I'm not going to use the Allen wrench. I'm going to use my fingers, and I'm going to attach each one of these shelves to the side wall on this first side, and I'm starting at the top. I have no idea. I'm trying to hold this up so you'll be able to, so the camera will catch what I'm doing, and the video won't just be a bunch of my scratchy voice talking, okay? Please forgive me, because, yeah, it's just like that some days. So, yeah, so I'm beginning to screw this first screw into the front side of the rack, attaching the rack to the wall, so to speak, of the organizer. And yeah, I'm gonna feed the screw through the hole. It's going from the outside to the inside, and it's going to meet the hole on the side of the rack, and I'm going to screw it in with my fingers just to kind of put it in place. And what I'm going to do once I get all of the screws into the rack, then I'll go back and I'll tighten it up with the Allen wrench, so that if it's not right, I don't have to fight to get it back apart. It'll be easy for me to take apart. Okay, so I'm not trying to make it sturdy enough to start stacking canned goods right now. I'm just trying to put it together so that I can know if I'm heading in the right direction. I believe this looks right, because it's just an organizer for canned goods. So I have been putting things together for a while now. Definitely as long as I've been living on my own. And that's been more than 20 years. I've been blind for more than 30 years. More like almost 40 years. But yeah, that's another story. But anyhow, so what I'm doing is putting these racks on this thing. Got a little bit of experience, like I said, because of my daughter, and Christmas and birthdays and different surprise gifts and things that always, it seems like no matter what you buy out of the store, especially right now with things being delivered to the house and them packing them as tightly as they can get them. Even the pots sometimes come with the handles off, and you got to put the handles and the knobs on the pots and things like that. So I have had my share of putting things together and figuring out how they go together, because all I got is the description of the product and my imagination, okay? Because most instructions are not words, they are pictures. So pictures to a blind person to tell you how to do something, it doesn't work very well. So we got to use our imagination, or we got to phone a friend or pay a person. Okay, so I try to do as much of this stuff as I can on my own to minimize the cost of independence. And we got the second rack, the first side of the second rack is in place. This is going together pretty easily. I almost feel like I cheated you guys out of a video watch, because this is turning out to be kind of simple. I'm glad about that, because Some of this stuff I have ordered in the past. I open it and I'm like, Lord, please forgive me, because I really think I just wasted my money, because there is no way I'm going to be able to figure this out. And that's when it's time to phone a friend or hire a person, okay, to get this done. But this right here is pretty straightforward. As a blind person, I look for products that have pretty good written descriptions, so that I can get a good image out of what the product should look like when it is put together. That is my first starting point. The second thing I do is I look at the reviews of other people that have purchased the product. Some of you have done really good jobs at talking about how you assemble the product and what you put on first and what you found to be the hardest. All these things give me an idea of what the product should look like. This is shelf number 3, y'all. We are really working this out. This is the first side of shelf number 3. Let me clear that up, because it is another side. But yeah, it's going on pretty good. And so I take those pieces of information, the reviews, the item description. I take all those things into consideration when I open up the packet and look at the pieces to try to see where I might want to start. This is the bottom and the final shelf. On the first side, it is coming together. This is coming together. And this is how, about to put this on wrong. Did I do that to any of the rest of them? No, they're all going in the right direction. Okay, because I had that one turned upside down, so I had to check. So where I start as a blind person is with reviews. Finding out who said what about what, reading the description, reading the pieces. Some descriptions tell you how many pieces are going to be in the packet, how many things you can expect. All these things are like clues and hints to how easy or how complicated the assembly is going to be. And so I look at all of that stuff before I open the box. Okay, I psych myself out to say, yep, I can do this. They say it's nothing but 5 pieces. They say it's nothing but 10 screws. And how hard can that be? And sometimes I have been really wrong. And some things that have just a few pieces is like my imagination just don't tell me how to put it together. And that's when it's frustrating. But anyhow, you can't win them all. But by, doing my research and reading and discovering and trying to figure things out, a lot of these things I have been able to assemble myself and save myself the few dollars that a person, who would want to get paid, because a workman is worthy of his hire. And I can't expect people to come to my house and take care of my business when they have business of their own that need to be taken care of. Everything can't be free. And I know that. So I try to get as much stuff as I can done for myself by myself. All right. So I got the first side of all 4 shelves assembled. And I'm going to flip this over on my lap, because I am working on my lap. Sometimes I like to work on the floor, but for video purposes, I'm sitting on the chair, because my non-visual self could not figure out how to get the camera angled at a way that you could see what I was doing if I was sitting on the floor. So I'm on the couch, okay? All right, so now I'm looking at this second side, and I got to get it angled right, and I think I got it wrong. Yep, so I got to turn that around, because it has to go on one way and one way only, because these shelves are, the sliding board, like I said earlier. So you can't put them, you got to be careful that you're putting it on the right direction so that everything will align. So, so now I'm working on the top side, and I'm trying to just kind of set it up here so I can put on the top shelf, the top side, the top tier, second side, okay? So like I said, I'm just doing this with my fingers now so I can put it together and see what it's supposed to look like. And if it looks right, then I'll go back and tighten it up with the Allen wrench. Okay, so I started being interested in putting things together as a kid. I was blind almost all of my childhood life. I lost my vision very young. I was about 5 years old when it was obvious that I wasn't going to be able to see for much longer. By the time I was 7, my vision was gone. So that's just to let you know, for the ones that haven't watched the intro, what this is all about, okay? Blind but not broken. I'm not broken. And as you can see, I am working this project. It is not working me, okay? I'm working this project. I like that. But it is not working me. I'm not even sweating. This is good, okay? I'm happy that I made this purchase. It seems to be a very sturdy shelf as far as the material goes. The metal that is made out of seems to be very solid. It doesn't, the shelves themselves, they don't feel like flimsy. You know how you buy some stuff and you be like, this is not going to last. Well, I don't feel that way about this product. I believe this has been something worth discovering, something worth owning, and I'm glad I made the purchase because I have a lot of things, canned goods, that I could put on this shelf. We all lived through COVID 2020 and 2021 and beyond, and we all know how it felt to go to the stores or try to get a grocery delivery in my case, and you got 19 items on your delivery and they bring you 5. Okay, it was a scary time. I have, been becoming a little bit more aware of how things can happen in the time of crisis. And even though, as a blind person, I, now the bottom one want to fight me, y'all, but I'm working. It is not working me. That is what I'm going to say, and I'm sticking to that. Okay, so I have started to buy just an extra can of something or extra jar of something and put it to the side and keep it in rotation, because what COVID 2020 taught me is you never know what's gonna happen next. And I'm screwing in the last screw on this shelf, guys. It has gone together very flawlessly. I am happy because I made a good purchase. I am happy because this is working. Okay, like this is working. Some things don't work so well. This is working. I am glad I chose this to be the first video that I've decided to do live, putting something together in my living room by myself as a totally blind person, without the benefit of instructions, but with the reviews of others and the descriptions of the seller. I'm able to put this together, and this second screw is being a beast, but it's going in because you are the last and you will fall in line because there's no reason for you not to. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this around so you guys can see it while I tighten up the Allen wrenches. It's going to be in the front of my face. I'm not going to hit myself. Don't panic. I'm going to be all right with this. So I'm going to tighten up the screws. I'm going down the back side on this left first. I am left-handed, so if it seems like everything starts on the left, well, not really, because I started the top side on my right. But anyhow, I am left-handed. That's just a fun fact. Maybe we'll have a trivia question or something one day about that. So, yeah, all these things, I'm tightening up the screws now so that the rack will be stable. I still don't have any idea what those other pieces were for. I'm going to examine this rack after I get these screws tightened up to see if I miss something, because those pieces have a purpose and I got to figure out what it is. Okay, so yeah, so I have decided that I'm going to buy a canned good here, 1 or 2 over there. I'm not trying to take everything off the shelf. I'm not a hoarder. I'm just trying to make sure that if life gets tough again, that I got enough in my home for me to survive until times smooth back out. Okay, and so I don't really have a lot of storage space in here, so that is the reason why I went looking for something that I can organize canned goods on. Now, this Simply Trending 4-tier storage can, I think it's called a can rack organizer. I believe that's the name of it on Amazon, sold by Simply Trending. they have it in 4-tier, 5-tier, 6-tier. Well, they say that this 4-tier organizer is supposed to be able to hold 48 cans. So if it can hold 48 cans, I have more than enough storage space for what I have. And if I need another one, well, I'll cross that bridge, like my parents used to say, when I get to it. Now, okay, I got one side all tightened. I'm turning it around so I can tighten the other side. I'm hoping that the video camera has enough range that you are catching some of what I'm doing on the camera. I'll try to turn it another way so you can see what I'm doing in just a moment. All I'm doing right now, though, is tightening up the screws that I put in earlier going down each side. So I'm on the second side, tightening up the screws, trying to stabilize the organizer so that when I begin to put canned goods on this organizer, it doesn't fall apart and land on my foot or something crazy. Okay, so this is sturdy, y'all. This is, I don't know if the mic is picking that up, but this is very sturdy. Like, I do not think that there will be any bending or any swaying or anything like that. This looks like it's going to get the job done. All right, so we got the last, and I'm turning it to the side so that I'm giving another opportunity for the camera to pick this up. I'm just taking the Allen wrench and tightening up the screws that I've previously put in with my fingers. I'm tightening them up with the Allen wrench that came with the product. So they were correct when the description said that I wouldn't need any more tools. They were telling the truth, because I have a screwdriver over here, but I have no need for it. I have not used it. Even when I went to open the packet with the screws inside of it, that just came open really easy. It was sealed, but it wasn't sealed with that maniac plastic that takes the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit to open. It didn't have that kind of plastic on it, okay? So it was just simple plastic holding all the little pieces in one place so that I could find them. So now I got all of the screws tightened. I'm going to turn this front facing so you can see. Now I got it leveled out on my lap as much as possible so that you can see that these shelves do indeed bend, slide downward. So like I said, I'm thinking that when you remove one canned good off of the shelf, the next one will just slide down in its place so that it will always be easy to remove the front canned good off of the shelf. Now, there are some pieces over here I gotta figure out. These look like scripts. They don't go across the front because they're not. First of all, let's see how many they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there are 8 of these scripts. There's 4 shelves, so I'm going to assume that there are 2 for every shelf. That's just simple mathematics, y'all, okay? This is how I start with stuff. This is the logic and the deduction. It is too short, so it cannot go across from left to right. So what I'm gonna see, there are some indentions. Let me show you this. Okay, on the shelf itself, on the base of the rack, I don't know if you can see that, but there are like crevices, and I'm wondering if these divider looking things fit down in those crevices, or are these the alignments? Let me see. So let's do some math here now. If the shelf is supposed to hold 48 and we got 4 shelves, that means that we're going to have to be able to put 12, 24, 30. Yeah, we're going to have to be able to put 12 on each shelf. So I'm wondering if these things divide each shelf. That has to be what they're for, y'all, because I don't see another purpose for this. So I'm going to try. They look like they just got hooks that you snap in place. I don't see that the front or the one end is any different from the other end. It looks to be a uniform part where it's all made the same from one side to the next. So I'm thinking that you can just snap them in, and there's no such thing as this part got to face front and that part got to face back. They don't look to be that complicated. So I'm snapping these on the front and the back, that bar that I tell you that sticks out a little further on the front side than the back side. Those pieces connect to that bar. And so now we have three. Okay, let me show you. We got like these lanes on the shelf. So that's a lane, this is a lane, and that's a lane. I hope you can see that on where my hand is. So it looks like on the outer lane would be best suited for like those fatter canned goods, like Progresso soups and stuff like that would go on the outside lanes. By the way, I've snapped these in, but please keep in mind that those are just snapped in. So if you need to adjust them to put them someplace else, and I'm working on the second row, the second level, I'm just snapping these pieces in place because they just seem to appear to just snap on and just serve as dividers for the rows of canned goods, I guess, so that when you move them and they slide down, they don't run into each other and the shelf don't become all disorganized and messy looking. So these are like bumper guards to keep the canned goods sliding neatly in their own lane. That's a pretty good idea, pretty clever. I didn't expect that. I wasn't actually sure how this was actually gonna come together to become a canned good organizer versus a glorified bookshelf, okay, or some kind of whatnot cabinet. But putting these pieces in place changes the look of the thing. It makes it look more like an organizer. So yeah, I'm putting these on the two bottom shelves. I'm adding those in here right now. And it looks like this is like pretty much done, y'all. This is a very stable product and it's at a good price. Even I caught it when they were having some kind of discount code or something, so I got it for much less than it is advertised for on Amazon, because like I said, there was a that checkbox to tell you to check here, or maybe it was a coupon code, I don't remember. But read, y'all, when you buy stuff, make sure you read and see if they're offering some kind of discount code in the description, or some kind of way to get a few dollars off, or stuff like that. Because in today's society, as expensive as things are, we have to be careful with every dollar that we have. Whether you are a millionaire or no, you have to watch your money. You can't just, if there's a way for you to save a few bucks, that means that seller, that person that's selling that product can afford for you to take take advantage of that discount. So don't be, so quick to just, click purchase. Read and see, because you may be spending more money than you have to, but that's a whole nother story. I have snapped all these pieces on, and I'm actually going back and aligning them, pushing them in line, because I was just trying to snap them in place. I wasn't real careful about the alignment of them when I put them on. Now, y'all, we still got these little pieces. Okay, so the shelf is together. This is sturdy. I'm going to set it down on the floor because I still don't know what these other pieces are for. Okay, y'all hear that? That thing is not going nowhere. When you put canned goods on that, it's gonna stay. It's not gonna fall apart. That is sturdy. Okay, now these little pieces, I still have not seen anything to do with these pieces. Wait a minute. 5 of these, okay? I'm assuming that there's one extra piece because there was one extra screw. So with that in mind, I'm going to, I had 2 extra screws. So I don't know. I'm going to say, let's see, because they got to go somewhere. They don't just put stuff in a pack for nothing. So all the holes up and down each side have something in them. So it doesn't go there. Let me turn it around. Let's go upside down and see if it needs feet or something on the bottom. No, it's got plastic stoppers on the bottom of the, so it doesn't scratch up the floor or scar up the tile and the linoleum or hardwood or whatever you're going to put it on. All those things are accounted for. So hold on, y'all. See, this is one of those things now that we got to kind of figure out what's what with these little pieces, because they're not in there for nothing. Okay, I see. No, that don't make sense. There are some holes up here on the top side. Trying to align this with the center of my face so you can see what I'm seeing. Right here, there's a hole right here, and there's a hole right here. And they fit in there, but for what? Hold on. They don't have like screw, they're not threaded or anything. They just slide in and just stay there. But that doesn't make any sense because they're gonna fall off. Like they're not gonna just, that's not reasonable. They're not decorative. They don't have like a knob at the top or any kind of like the, you know, like the, I don't know what you call those things, like the rounded thing at the end of the banisters or nothing like that. They're just straight utilitarian looking pieces that sit in the hole on the top. I bet you I know what this is. So I wonder if these shelves could, I don't remember seeing that, but that's the only thing that would make sense. Let me see something, okay? I'm going to remove them because I need to turn the shelf upside down before I say what I'm thinking, okay? So, yep. So, okay, there are holes, if you can see this, on the bottom side. So what I'm wondering is, are these shelves stackable? Are these shelves, yep, because if you can see the differentiation between where this is and how far it sticks out away from where this is the part that was sitting on the floor. This is the part that I just added. It sticks away from, it extends further than the floor stopper. Okay, so what I'm thinking is you could buy a second 4-tier organizer and put it on the top of this one. So if I needed more space in the future, I could buy a second one of these from Simply Trending, and I could use those pieces and put them in these 4 holes on the top, and I could set the new organizer on top of the old organizer, and it would go up instead of out, saving space on the floor and still serving the same purpose of storing canned goods. Like that's good. I did not even see that in the description. I'm pretty sure that they didn't mention it. But that is a good find. I am happy with the product. Like I said, you guys search for it on Amazon. I will put the link in the description. I do not get paid. I am not, I don't have any kind of affiliate clicks or nothing like that. But so that you can find the product that I found, I will put the link down into the description. It's called Simply Trending 4-tier canned good organizer. This one, like I said, they have it in 5-tier, they have it in 6-tier. I believe it was around $25. And I believe the most expensive one, the 6-tier, was about $30. Of course, prices change because life changes. So that price today may not be the same price as next week, but it is a good bargain. I am glad I bought this. I looked at quite a few of them. Some of them I chose not to get them because of some of the things that the review said. Some of them I chose not to buy because the description simply just didn't give me a visual. Okay, so I didn't know what I was buying when I was looking at that product. But when I looked at the description of this product, I was able to understand what it was going to do and had some kind of idea of how it was going to get that done. So this is the first video I'm putting something together to show you how I, as a blind person, am able to kind of do these little things for myself and keep my independent life. Okay, I don't say that anybody is not independent who needs to hire somebody to put something like this together, because sometimes people just don't want to be bothered with it. I like to figure things out. So this for me is a good win because I was able to get this storage rack together. It's not that heavy, but it is sturdy. And I can't see where this will do anything but function. Okay, I was able to put this together, and I count that as an achievement for this day. Please like the page, follow the page, so that you can get notified about the things that are going on and what I'll be doing next. And let's just stay in contact with each other. I appreciate feedback. If you have any suggestions on how I can make this video better or the videos in the future better, if you know some kind of tip about how I, as a blind person, could position this camera on this tripod to give a better angle to help my viewers out, please, y'all, leave me some feedback. Show me some love. Follow me so that we can keep in touch and you can know what I know about my world, that I can share it with you, so that when you see the next blind person, you will understand that they are not really expecting your sympathy. They're expecting your friendship. Okay, that's what we expect more than anything, is a friend indeed. So like the page, follow the page. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, because I understand that some people who are viewing may be just like me. So all you can do is listen. If you have any questions about this storage container or this storage rack as a blind person, leave me a comment. I don't know, send me an email, something, and I'll be glad to tell you what I know about it to help you out. Okay, follow the page, like the page, and we'll see each other soon.